Breaking news, guys. Arewa youth calls for the sack of Chief of Defense Staff. Hello everyone, welcome back to Prospect Channel TV. Thank you for this coming out here. If you are just joining us, please kindly subscribe to this channel and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you once again. The Arewa Action Group for Good Governance has condemned the bombing of unarmed civilians in Tondu, Buri, a community within the Igabe local government area of Kaduna State. The group, in its statement signed by Moses Saleh and made available to the press, accused the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, of conniving with the Nigerian army to cause havoc in the community he perceived as against his ethnicity in Kaduna State. There are questions surrounding the attack by the Nigerian army. It is inexcusable that such a blunder could be done. The Nigerian army is an infantry arrangement, and even with some air components and capabilities, it is still suspected that they could mistake a group of worshippers for terrorists. Where is the place of intelligence gathering? They ask. The group alleged that the Chief of Defense Staff sanctioned the action of the Nigerian army without the involvement of the Nigerian Air Force, the service responsible for air operations. If this wasn't intentional, we wonder what else, because a situation where the Nigerian army would undertake air operations without the involvement of the Nigerian Air Force is suspect. And the result is what is before us. Hundreds of innocent lives have been lost and hundreds of others with varied degrees of injuries. We have every doubt that the action of the Nigerian army is a vendetta mission. There are no two ways about it. On the strength, it happened in a community in Kaduna State, where the Chief of Defense Staff hails from. We understand that some intrigues played out regarding his appointment as Chief of Defense Staff. Unfortunately, the Chief of Army Staff allowed himself to be involved in such illegality, if indeed the intent was aimed at terrorists. Why was the Nigerian Air Force not involved? These are questions that must have answers. The number of lives wasted because an individual feels entitled to use state power as he deemed necessary is a sad commentary. The group asked the Chief of Defense Staff to come out clean and explain the circumstances that led to the unfortunate incident. Nigerians must be told what happened, who sanctioned the operations, and who were those who gave the intelligence reports that terrorists were gathering in that location. At this point, a professional force like the Nigerian army cannot afford to make such a costly mistake, because we are discussing the security of lives and properties. If such an action can occur, it means that Nigerians are facing a double-edged sword from terrorists and the security agencies. Some questions must be answered by the Chief of Defense Staff and the Chief of Army Staff. Nigerians must know the truth with regard to what happened in the Tondu Buri Kaduna community in Kaduna State. There is reasonable suspicion to believe that somebody went wrong. What happened was not an incident, but a well-convinced and executed line of action that achieved its objective. The group called for the sack of the Chief of Defense and the Chief of Army Staff. It alleged that the action of the Nigerian army has cast a shadow on the human rights rating of the Nigerian army. We call for the sack of the Chief of Defense Staff and the Army Staff. This is unacceptable. Nigerians must not be at the mercy of the security agencies who are constitutionally mandated to protect lives and properties and preserve the country's territorial integrity. We are calling on the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces to take decisions, the decisive action in the overall interest of Nigerians. We are tempted to believe that scores of such incidents might have occurred in other parts of the country and gone unnoticed. Those responsible for command and operations must be called to account for their actions. The Nigerian Army is not an air force. It is a land force enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Our suspicion of foul play in the bombing of Tonduburi in Igbabi local government area of Kaduna State is reasonable. The explanation advanced by the general officer commanding one division smacks of a mockery and an insult to our collective intelligence, he said. What have you said when you are killing thousands of Christians and religious? Okay, someone just dropped that. See, this is not the issue of Christians and Muslims. So they should also not forget that this is not the first time something like this have happened in Nigeria. It still happened during Muhammad Buhari's time, but this is not justifiable. You understand? This is not justifiable. What I'm just trying to say here is that they should not take it like this is Christian-Muslim war. No, because this is where they are dragging to. So guys, let's hear from you. Kindly share your thoughts below the comment section. If you're just joining us, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you for stopping by. Bye for now.